All right, everybody, welcome back into another episode of the Lesko podcast. Joined by Brett once again and Austin once again. Austin, it's great to have you back on, man. You and I, we started on YouTube February of 22. That's a long time ago. And now we're up over 1,000 subs. And, Austin was a part of that. So, Austin, it's good to have you back on, man.
Yeah, good to be back. Had to bring out the big guns for what we got going on. But first and foremost, congratulations on the 1,000 subscribers. I know it's going to keep on going to the moon, as they say. But yeah, been busy doing my own stuff as far as some coaching. Started a new business as well in the pickleball space, making some pickleball paddles and some branded apparel and things of that nature. But none of that is super important right now. What's important is what in the world is going on in the coaching search that's underway here at Penn State. Obviously, we've been doing this for over 50 days now. I don't think anyone imagined that it'd be going this long. And I think everyone's probably extremely frustrated at this point. But I kind of don't have many answers. I've been trying to stay, optimistic throughout the process. I've been trying to kind of pump the brakes on kind of going overboard with anxiety or angst or whatever. But the fact of the matter is things, to put it mildly, have not gone according to plan. I think that's about the kindest way to put it. Frankly, it's been a failure at every level. If this was Pat Kraft, just him being involved, or some small group of a search committee, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, I could understand maybe if we didn't just have the head coach in place, but in the meantime, you got a general manager in place and you set up an infrastructure for NIL and all these other things. And it just seems to me like nothing was really done, It's just been an abject failure. We're definitely at like DEFCON 1 level of kind of emergency situation. So that's kind of my initial take. I don't know about you guys, but that's where I'll start us off at.
Brett, go ahead.
Yeah, Pat Kraft is looking like Tom Hanks in Castaway, just totally lost out there. I don't really know if he has an answer. I think a couple of us figure at this point it's probably down to like there's got to be a very, very short list because you've had so many misses. And then you let people go thinking you can go back to them like Bob Chesney, and he's gone now. Like, you're not getting Bob Chesney. I don't think he would want to come to Penn State at this point. Yeah, I don't know. Hire Terry Smith is what we're looking at, right? Just hire him because we'll be able to keep the guys together that are already there right now, and that's probably what's most important. Because if the guys that are there right now leave because we bring in a coach that they're not going to gel with or that they might not like, then we're left with 0 players for next season. So, yeah, it's a dumpster fire to say the least. And, yeah, you go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, so we've talked about this. We're just getting Austin's thoughts. At this point, it's a situation where I hate to jump off the Pat Kraft bandwagon because I think he was a solid hire, and I think he's a solid AD. But all we know is we should have had a head coach by now. We don't yet. And it appears that he's not doing a good job with any of it, which is pretty frustrating because, I would have expected better. And it seems like that he totally fumbled the bag on this. There's names out there right now, Terry, Dayball. I think Braum was in there at one point, but I think he's staying with Key, but I think he's staying. So at this point, your options are limited. And one thing is clear to me, and I did not know this going into it initially. I know Pat Kraft wants to win a national title, but I did not know that he wants to win a national title like now. In the sense that it's clear that he doesn't want a coach that's going to come here and stay like we've always had at Penn State, pretty much. He wants a guy that's going to come in right away and win a national title in like 3-4 years. I didn't know that. I think you should get a guy who's going to come in and build the program up like a Bob Chesney, a Brian Hartline, a Sataki would have been a decent option. Someone young or whatever, someone you can build a program about, because we don't hire and fire coaches at Penn State. So that's what I thought he would do, but it's clear that he's not doing that. He wants to win a national title now. And when you do that, you're trying to get a unicorn. And that's just not really an option right now. I mean, you really don't think that he doesn't really seem like he had a plan. Like, did you think he's going to go out and just get Nick Saban or Urban Meyer or whoever? I mean, I don't know what his approach was, but it didn't work. And we're left standing here right now on National Signing Day with no head coach. We got 2 signees, which is like horrendous. And it just looks bad. I mean, it makes us look bad. It makes the school look bad. We are a laughing stock right now. And, I hope that he still hires someone, whether it be Terry Smith or Dayball or whoever is out there that can actually come here and coach and do a good job. And if Terry Smith is not the head coach, then he's on the staff. And there's certain guys out there that I think Terry Smith would stay for. We don't know what he's doing, but it's just he wants to win a national title now, and that's not really available. So you should have had a better plan, and it backfired totally. So you better hope whoever takes over wins us games. I guess quickly, because that's what you wanted. So it's just a total lack of planning. I mean, God, it's embarrassing. I mean, again, we're a laughing stock right now. And we're getting trolled by a cookie guy, by the Cookie Monster. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. So, Austin, like, our opinion is it was time for Franklin to go. You know that I was on here saying, and listen, I supported Franklin. I wanted it more for anyone than him, but there was just issues that I had with his tenure, which is why I was saying I think we should let him go. They did. What is your thoughts on that? Do you agree with that, or?
Yeah, kind of looking back at it. I mean, again, hindsight's 2020, but I don't really mind that you fired him. I don't really mind that Kraft fired him when he did, to be honest with you. I don't really mind that decision, so long as you had a plan. But it just seems like we're like, okay, we're gonna can this guy. Now what do we do? It's like, that's not the right way to do it. And I said this multiple. I said this years ago. And you know where I'm going with this, I'm sure. But it's like, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. And who are you going to get? And now everyone's asking that question. Who are we going to get? And no one has a good answer. I don't have a good answer. I did see someone in the chat here saying, why aren't we looking at Matt Campbell from Iowa State? Yep. He's a good football coach. Like, they should be looking at him. Yep. If they haven't already, they should definitely look at him for sure. But again, it did kind of seem that everything with Franklin and Penn State, it did kind of feel like it ran its course. I mean, he looked despondent on the field. And again, if you say, okay, well, let's hang on to him through the end of the season or whatever. If nothing changed as far as the game plan, switching over the carries to Katron, a higher percentage, et cetera, like, do we beat Nebraska? Do we beat Rutgers? I don't think we do, to be honest with you. No. So the one thing that we saw right away after the change is they started making as many incremental changes as they could, as quickly as they could, given the timeline. They couldn't do a ton against Iowa. Again, it happened. It was a short week. Like, they didn't have a ton of time. But then they had close practice, offensive only for a new install. And then what happened? Katron Allen just suddenly starts getting the ball more. No, that's not just a happenstance thing. Terry Smith identified what all of us identified as, hey, this guy is your number one. We need to give him the ball. And that's what happened. And they started getting more success. And then what happened? They started throwing the ball down the field. That was never happening under Franklin, because the one thing that Franklin has shown, and again, for those that remember, I was a pretty staunch backer of Franklin. I thought he did. I still think he did a lot of good things.
Absolutely.
For Penn State in the program. But the one thing that he was really, really bad at is, we're not good right now. How do we fix it? The answer was never, let's try something different. It was always, well, we just need to try the same thing harder. And that's just not the answer sometimes. Sometimes you have a pile, you're playing with a pile of crap, and it doesn't matter how hard you try, the crap's still crap. So I liked how things went. And again, I'm frustrated with the situation. I don't disagree with the firing. And here's the crazy part. This is the nutso part of this whole thing. As bad as it is, depending on who they end up getting, maybe a Matt Campbell, maybe a Dabble, maybe something absolutely crazy happens. Maybe Alabama gets absolutely throttled by Georgia and DeBoer wants out and we get him. Maybe. Don't bet on that. Don't go on Kalshi and bet on that. That's a bad bet. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But maybe. I don't know. And that's okay. But the upper brass has to know, and they don't know either. That's the problem. I did see someone in the chat mention Brian Kelly. Absolutely not. I'd rather have no coach than Brian Kelly.
No.
I would rather anyone else be the coach than Brian Kelly.
I would literally rather have Jay Paterno.
Yeah, give me anybody.
We've been telling them no every day about Brian Kelly, and they keep mentioning it.
No. The guys, and again, I try not to be mean. That guy is a scumbag. That guy is a poison to a program. Absolutely not. So that's kind of where things are. I don't necessarily disagree with the firing. But you were the first one to open up, and now you're the last one scrounging around. That doesn't make any sense. So as far as I'm concerned, if they hire a Matt Campbell, okay. If you hire a Dabble, maybe it works out. If you hire Terry Smith, fine. But at the end of the day, if you get DeBoer, I think everything's safe from a Pat Kraft perspective. If you don't, I don't know, man. You gotta take a long look at, hey, after this is through, maybe he's not the AD for us. Because again, and to your point, Mark, and then I'll let Brett hop in here. The fact is, he has done a pretty good job with a lot of the other athletic teams, and those they've gotten better, and I see that, and it's awesome. But then I sit here and I'm like, you can't bottle the cash cow of the whole operation. You can't screw that one up, and he's screwing it up. So, that's going to have to be looked at. Quite frankly, I know I messaged Mark this privately, but I think from an institutional leadership standpoint, there needs to be some stuff looked at. And I'm talking board of trustees, I'm talking president, I'm talking AD, the whole thing. Because you mean to tell me that Michigan State has things more in a better place than Penn State? They fired their guy. They hired Pat Fitzgerald 3 hours later. We've had 53 days or whatever it's been at this point. At a certain point in time, it's one of those things where it's something's not right.
I mean, I dude, and Brett, I'll let you go here soon. It's did we really have we had the first opening, and we still haven't hired a guy? It's did it really happen? Is this really true? He's just that bad at finding a coach. I mean, that's insane. At Penn State, that's insane. I mean, that's almost I don't even want to believe that. But like, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. And I have some background information I can give you guys too, but go ahead, Brett.
No, it's funny because Austin brought up Michigan State. I was going to bring that up again because last night we touched on it a little bit. Pat Fitzgerald's a great hire, especially for Michigan State. Like, I would have took him here, to be honest with you. Like, we would have took Pat Fitzgerald here, most of us. We would have been fine with it. That's how you do a search. You're not even searching. You know who the guy is. You know he's going to take the job because he's unemployed, and you move on. You move on, and you get a signing class together, not two guys. By the way, we're going to touch briefly on Jackson Ford and Peyton Falzone. Those guys are legends already. They're legends that they stayed at this dumpster fire right now. So hats off to them. Terry Smith made it happen with Peyton Falzone, so hats off to Terry. Jackson Ford hasn't wavered at all. He's just a Penn Stater through and through, so love that guy. Yeah, I don't know where to go from here, guys, to be honest with you. We've been bringing up Matt Campbell for days now, and I have no clue. Like, I think they may have talked to him early in the search and then, like, went away from him. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, I told Mark before the show and yesterday, I think, Pat Kraft wanted to be too perfect about the hire, and he messed it up because of that. He wanted to get some perfect hire, a DeBoer, whoever. There were only so many options out there that would have been a perfect hire. And even then, like, it still has to work out on the field, and the players have to mesh. But like, Pat Kraft is his own worst enemy. He mucked this up from the gate. He had zero plan. Whatever plan he thought he had fell through instantly. He's been, like I said, he's been Tom Hanks for 3 weeks now. So just absolutely diabolical. I have no other words for it. Brian Dable, like you said, like, he's a good coach, a player. He's a player's coach. They like him. I think he could work out, but with NIL and all that good stuff, he hasn't been in college since that. So that's another factor to put into it. But he was an NFL head coach at a program that's never going to be good. So we can't say he's a bad coach because the Giants sucked. The Giants always suck, and they're always going to suck. It's kind of a fact. I don't see anybody saving that program. So I'm Terry Smith, Brian Dave. Just hire somebody right now. Like, I don't care. I've been saying it for 3 days. Hire them right now. Bring them in. We can go to bed tonight. Like, we can sleep. So.
To be honest with you, at this point, because we're already in the early signing period, there's not really a ton of hope for really doing anything in the recruiting class. You're pretty much banking. The next deadline is things need to be in order for this transfer portal window, which, again, the transfer portal window and when they made it is the dumbest thing ever. Yep. Shout out NCAA for, again, making a horrendous decision like they always do. I don't know why I'm surprised. I should have expected that, of course. But at this point, given that that's the new timeline, man, you might as well just wait and see if Georgia can beat the crap out of Alabama. And maybe, just maybe, you get the luckiest Hail Mary in the 11th hour that you could possibly hope for. And if that doesn't work, if it was me, I would try and hire Matt Campbell. That's what I would do. Now, again, I don't mind a Brian Dabo either. I think he's a good offensive mind. Obviously, he's worked with some pretty good quarterbacks as well.
That's what we need.
And here's the thing: I heard a lot of criticism. Oh, he just got fired. He just got fired from the Giants. Why would you want to coach? Just got fired. NFL, college, very different. Very, very different. Now they're getting a little bit closer with the fact that universities are hiring GMs to manage the NIL and the money and all that stuff. But I personally don't really hold that against them. Again, the Giants have been a dumpster fire. It is what it is. It's hard to win there. To be honest, I kind of thought they were nuts to even fire him. I thought they should give him a little bit more time because they had some things going with Dart and Scadaboo. But I'd be okay with that too. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to ask me today, do you have faith that Pat Kraft is going to be able to install a GM and supporting infrastructure of cast to get everything ironed out as far as what is the apparatus of NIL looking like? What is the process we're going to go through? How are we going to evaluate and divvy up money based upon players between whatever 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits, and guys in the portal, whatever. Between now and when that window is, I have absolutely zero. I have zero faith in that happening, because it's been 50 some days to even try and find a coach, and we're still waiting. All of these things should have been happening behind the scenes. The fact that they weren't is extremely troubling. I have no idea what the rationale was to not at least get that side of the ball taken care of before the head coach, because it's really meaningless. Like, it's not that big of a deal. There could be an entire infrastructure in place. You can even fill it with alumni, with former players, as far as contacting players and transfers and all this kind of stuff to help manage the process, to kind of help coalesce and bring the community together. There's all kinds of things that could have been done, and what was done to this point was a whole bunch of crap and a whole bunch of nothing. And that's extremely frustrating. But that's what I would do at this point. Wait and see what happens. Maybe Georgia gifts you a complete destruction of Alabama, and they run him out of there. Maybe. But other than that, I'd say go after Matt Campbell, get him in here and support him, give him more support than he's ever had as a coach, because that guy can coach football.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to Pat Kraft, man, like, what I've heard some information in regard to him, that basically there's this there's like this blacklist going across head coaching polls across the country, where they're all kind of talking to each other, and they're like, we're not going to go work for Pat Kraft. Again, it's clear to me that he wants to win a national title now, and I think in his interviews he was way too aggressive, and he pretty much told him, if you don't win a natty in 3-4 years, like, you're done. So that really turned a lot of people away. And JR just said in the chat, like, Pat Kraft is a narcissist. Dude, and it makes sense, man. It makes sense. Like, if there's a head coaching, like, what's the word? I guess, like, if there's a holdout from all these head coaches, then it makes sense why we haven't gotten one yet. It's crazy. Like, people are talking, and Todd McShay said about Jimmy Sexton, and he is just totally trying to, like, Pat Kraft did his client wrong, and he is totally involved in trying to shaft Penn State. Penn State, like Landon said last night on his show, we are Penn State. We are better. We are bigger than James Franklin, and we are bigger than Jimmy Sexton. If you guys are going to get involved in trying to hurt our program, and you're going to mock us with cookies and all this stuff, just wait. You're messing with the wrong school if you're going to be doing that stuff. I don't understand why they're doing that. I mean, that's a bad idea, in my opinion. But there seems to be a big issue with Kraft. I mean, and that's why, that's why he hasn't had a coach yet. I mean, it's insane. Like, I was confident in this guy, and it looks like it's just not working out well at all. So let's hope they still can pull this out. I mean, my dream scenario, if it was done right, man, they could have hired Terry Smith as head coach, or even what I ultimately kind of wanted to happen was you hire someone, maybe like a DeBoer, who is probably going to be an in and out guy, win a national title, hopefully, and then move on like he always does. I don't know, maybe he would stay, but you almost hire like a Terry Smith as the head coach. Then you bring in a Bob Chesney as the OC or DC, whatever. And then he's the coach in waiting. And then you move on, you put the young guy in. I mean, they could have played this a few different ways, and he was just pedal to the floor. I want a unicorn. And it's like, bro, like I don't know how you think that's going to work. It's just, and it's not. So his plan was horrible from the beginning.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
and Austin
man.
brought it up too. Like overall, as an AD, like across all sports, he's done a very good job in the short amount of time that he's been here. But to muck up the biggest sport that Penn State has to offer, which is football, to completely annihilate what Penn State was built on. I know we had a rough year because of James Franklin, but there was a way to like get out of the weeds, and you dug further into the weeds, and now we're drowning. Now we're drowning in the swamp. So now we're like Florida, the dumpster fire down there. So John Summerall's a good coach. Hopefully he can turn it around down there. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, Pat Kraft, this is a fireable offense. You can't, like, Neely Benaputi, I've heard good things about her, but she hired Pat Kraft, right? So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's tough, but the thing that I didn't really think about it at the time, and shame on me, I probably should have. But the biggest thing that I think people really hammered on James Franklin before he was fired was you literally went out Big Ten media days and you talked like everything was the best it's ever been, the best team, the best staff, the best everything. This is the year, et cetera, et cetera. And then it all falls apart. Pat Kraft fires him, and then he comes out into the media the next day. And what does Pat Kraft do? We're going to go out, national search. We're going to hire the best guy possible. We're going to, win a national. He did the same thing. He jacked the expectations up to the stratosphere. Like,
Yeah.
I understand you want to rally the troops, but again, if you're going to do that, the hubris that it requires to do that, especially when it's pretty clear you did not have a plan, man, that's a certain kind of special. And I don't know that that's kind of, I don't know if that's what we need, to be honest with you. But like I said, organizationally, a lot of things need to be looked at. But yeah, man, it's tough. The one thing I will say for those that remember, I'm always very particular with my words. For those that are saying that like Terry Smith's a bad option, he's not a bad option. He's an unknown option. That's what he is. We don't know.
Yep.
But at this point, it's like it also seemed like Pat Kraft didn't want to hire a coordinator. It's like, no, we don't really want Brian Hartline. Well, now he's at South Florida, so
Yep.
There you go. Now the fact that you didn't want that because you wanted a guy with coaching experience or this or that or whatever, it's like, well, we don't want to take the risk. It's like, brother, you already took the risk. You already jumped into the pool of risk when you fired James Franklin. You were already there. Mm-hmm. Just the logic, it makes absolutely no sense. So I have no understanding of what Pat Kraft did. I had no idea like the rationale or the logic behind the plan because there just wasn't. And now the situation is you need a guy to come in and really get to work in this transfer portal because we're going to lose guys off the roster, obviously those that are graduating, and there's going to be some defections. There's going to be some guys that enter the transfer portal and leave. Some of them will go to James Franklin at Vatech. Some will go elsewhere. That's just a fact. So everyone prepare yourselves for that. But what does that mean? Like low key, that kind of means Penn State needs to be very active in the transfer portal. And I'm not talking about 10, 20 people. I'm talking like 40, 50 people, like a lot of players. If you're going to field anything that resembles a full roster. That's kind of where things are. This really was because of all the calendar changes and things. This was always going to be the worst year to try to navigate with the new transfer portal window when it is and all this other crap. But like, that's where it is. But the fact that you're too scared of taking a risk on like a Brian Hartline because he's unproven, dude, who cares? You already took the risk. You fired James Franklin. Yeah. It didn't even make any sense. See a question here. Did we really know about Franklin when he first came here? We knew that he took a relatively consistent doormat team in the SEC, Vanderbilt, and won 9 games in consecutive seasons, and was just kind of consistent, elevating a program. And quite frankly, I liked the hire when we did it.
Yeah.
But again, there are a lot of opportunities out there that I thought were pretty good opportunities, including I thought Heartline was a really good option, to be honest with you, because again, the guy can recruit, the guy's got connections, he's obviously a fantastic coach, and then you surround him with the rest of the pieces. But for whatever reason, Pat just kind of didn't think that was a good idea, I guess. But we'll see. We'll see how that works out in South Florida. But I expect that he'll do pretty well for South Florida standards.
Yeah, all you Ohio State fans that said he was too Ohio State is too amazing and absolutely incredible, greatest thing since Jesus Christ himself. He would never leave Ohio State. And not only does he leave Ohio State, but he leaves Ohio State for South Florida. I mean, that's just like such a karmic insult to Ohio State fans. It's crazy. So I'm glad he got a job. He deserves it. Yeah. But we've been through worse, guys, as a program. I just want to make that point. I've said that. We've been through worse. Like, we're going to be okay. We are Penn State. We're going to be fine. The last time we had something like this, and I hope this isn't a pattern every 15 freaking years, but we almost got the death penalty. I mean, we were like Stephen A. Smith and all his wisdom. They need to get the death penalty. I mean, it's like, oh my God. So we're not that at that point, but yeah, Austin, it's just, I agree with you that he is an unknown. He's not a bad option. He's an unknown option. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because we've said it, as much as I do want Terry Smith myself, Sarge, thanks for the donation. He has to go through an off season. He's the one recruiting. He's the one going into living rooms and promising players' moms, like, I'm going to take care of your son.
Mm-hmm.
Like Franklin was good at that. And back, Austin and I have talked about this. Austin liked the hire by James Franklin. And you know what? I never like, I don't think I've ever said I didn't like the hire by James Franklin. James Franklin wanted to come here, guys. That you know how crazy you have to be to want to come here at that time? Like that, there was so much unknown at that point. And yes, he did have a good resume at Vanderbilt. I mean, you had to have a 4.0 to get in there. You know how hard it is to recruit good athletes that have a 4.0? I mean, how do you even have a team? Like that's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, he's not the coach anymore. And we're trying to find a new one, but I just hope that we get one. Like, I want to hear like tomorrow. That's what I want to hear, but I don't know, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Man. And just because we don't necessarily hear anything like, oh, there's this guy, doesn't mean we're necessarily not getting someone, because Kraft totally messed up last time. He made Kalashi public. He totally screwed that up. He should have never made it public until there was dry ink in Lash Building. And he didn't do it. It was a handshake deal, went back, got swayed by the Cookie Monster. So, whatever. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It stinks because I really liked crumble cookies too, and I don't know if I can go back, to be honest.
Well, I have insomnia on the thumbnail, so
I told everyone to hit up insomnia last night. Yeah. That's basically what I did. That's a good option.
That's a good shout.
We have an opportunity here, guys, between now and Christmas break. Make that insomnia the most profitable insomnia in the whole country. We can do it. Do it. Give them 5-star reviews. Make 10 Google accounts. Give them 5-star reviews. I mean, we could make it the most profitable in the country, and I think it should happen. I think we should.
It should be Penn State's newest sponsor, man. They should go after it. I mean, just the irony, like they should. I mean,
Look, I will say this. The best way to deal with getting trolled like that is to lean into it. And that would be leaning into it.
Yep, 100%. Yeah.
Guys, I just want to say this real quick. Please like, share, subscribe. Support the channel. Help us get to 2,000 subs. It's good to have Austin back on here. It's good to have Brett on here. As always, Brett and I have literally been on here so much. Like
almost every night.
Pretty much since Franklin was fired. I've been on here like a lot. But if you guys do want your comment to be answered, at this point, because we have so many, just you're gonna have to like throw in a donation or something. I'm bringing back the membership. I know I said I went away from it, but at this point we have so many comments. I'm gonna make a membership for $3. Those of you that want to support the channel, you can, and your comments will pop up because you have the member thing next to you. So I'm bringing it back. It's in review. Should be back up by tomorrow. But if you want us to read your comment, you're probably gonna have to donate. I hate to say that, but because there's so many, we just can't see them all. And I do want to answer your comments, but as a hybrid Gen X millennial, I always have disliked Stephen A. We are Rocky. I believe Old Main is involved. In a good way or a bad way, JR? But Brett, go ahead.
Dude, I don't know where we've been talking every night, so like I don't have like any groundbreaking information I can share or my
talk about signing day.
Oh, okay, yeah. We got 2 commits today, guys. We thought it was only going to be 1 for a while there, Jackson Ford, and yeah, I mean I already kind of brought them up to be honest with you, but Peyton Falzone, I told Mark, a lot of people might not know, but Peyton Falzone, the problem with him initially was he has a weird throwing motion, and he's just a straight-up athletic QB. He wanted to be Penn State wanted him as a tight end, but he's like, no, I'm a QB. He can throw the rock, but he started training with Brad Medler, so that's Drew Aller and Grunkenmeyer's QB coach in Ohio. So I think he started working on his throwing motion, so that's getting fixed up, which is good. I'm hoping he still sees them. I really don't know. But he was seeing him for a little bit. Yeah, 6'5", 200 pounds right now. Fast, athletic. I mean, way more athletic than Drew ever was, so that's good. Not that Drew was like complete dumpster fire. He could run, but he just wasn't fast. But I mean, I'm just glad we got a QB. You got the most important position that you could possibly need. And then you got Jackson Ford, a defensive end, which – I mean, Penn State's defensive end at this point, so we'll take Jackson Ford all day. I think we'll get a couple more guys, in the late signing period. Probably going to be 3-star guys, right? But, hey, whoever the head coach is going to be, we got to make sure they're a developer, and they can develop 3 stars. There's plenty of good 3-star players. So the stars aren't everything. So, I mean, I wish I can say it's all going to work out with the recruiting, but it's just not. So we're going to have to hit the portal and hit it hard. I'm talking 20, 25 people easily. You're going to have to go get in the portal. It's probably going to be some bottom schools that we get players from too. I mean, there's good play. I mean, we got Devontae Ross from Troy, and he was one of the few bright spots on our receiver room this year. So he did a pretty good job overall. Took him some time to get in the mix, but yeah, you can find good players at lower schools, FCS, Group of 5. They might even get guys in D3 or D2. I have no idea. So, yeah, I like Austin said. Do I have faith that Pat Kraft's going to get it all done in time? I do not. It's still salvageable though. If they announce it tomorrow that so and so's the head coach, it's salvageable, but they're going to have to be putting in some work, and they're going to have to start moving fast. So, yeah.
So I just want to say this real quick for you guys that are donating. Make sure you do it on YouTube. Rumble is horrendous to deal with when it comes to payments, so just do it on YouTube. Yeah, Rumble. I might delete Rumble to be completely honest with you. Their payments go through Stripe, and Stripe is so hard to deal with. Austin, I don't know if you ever dealt with Stripe, but man, they want you to have a website and all this stuff. But Austin, do you have anything to say? I mean, Christopher, Thomas, and Girth, we'll get to your comments. Thank you for the donations. Do you want to say something, Austin?
Yeah, just one final thing, kind of just to get to some of the other comments that weren't donated that I remember. A short contract. I saw someone bring up maybe a 1 or 2 year contract. That's not a good way to go about it. You're really looking for at least a 3-year deal. On such a short contract, recruiting becomes incredibly difficult because you're kind of saying, hey, we kind of don't really believe in what we're doing right now. It's got to be at least probably a 3-year deal for whoever the coach may be, whether that's Terry or someone else. I did also hear, though I don't believe it's been confirmed, that Ben DePuty and some of the other administration has kind of gotten involved with this process at this point. Whether that's a good thing or not, who's to say?
You did hear that, Austin?
I did hear that. It's really just hearsay. I don't know if that has been officially confirmed yet by any of the Penn State media outlets. Might be good, might not be good. I don't really know at this point. But I mean, there's there's a lot to do, and we're kind of short on time. But it's one of those things where I never really would have guessed that this coaching search would have been harder this offseason than it was in 2011 and 2012 or 2014. If you would have told me that, I would have said there's no shot. It's impossible. And somehow here we are.
It's way worse this time around. It's insane.
It's one of those things where, I mean, I don't know if I've ever given this guy a compliment, but Dave Joyner was better than Pat Kraft. I don't think I've ever complimented Dave Joyner, hardly at all about anything. That's insane. Apparently that is official. That old man is now involved. So I appreciate you confirming those rumblings. I don't know what else to say, man. Things are not great. They need to get straightened out quick, or this is not going to be the only job opening. We're going to have an 8. I do think Pat Kraft's contract is kind of heavy right now too. I don't know if they want to eat that buyout and things. So there's other things going on, but not great. I wish I was able to come on under better circumstances.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you came on and gave your piece, Austin. It's we're all busy guys. So, but for us to be like, dude, what the F is going on? That's literally what we're texting each other. We're like, this is so bad. But I have not heard that, Christopher. That I did not hear that, but it sounds like Austin did. But I did hear again that Pat Kraft, it's not looking good for him. So, and I think it's almost to the point where if he did offer Dayball, I don't know. But if Terry is the coach and the school is involved, the standard needs to be, we need to build this into a national title team. That's what we need to do. That's what we want. And I think Terry knows that. Do you guys think Terry knows that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we want, right?
Yeah, I would agree. Again, here's the thing. I love Terry Smith. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great guy. He's definitely a Penn State guy through and through. There's no question that he loves this program just as much or even more than we do. Obviously, he has the backing of a lot of the former players, the current players, etc. And again, I think in this new age of college football, if you did go with him, you could make his job much, much easier with a good hire of a GM, etc., to kind of handle all that stuff. And you let Terry focus on being the coach, recruiting, putting a good product out there, and again, being flexible and adapting. How many times I've been talking about that for years. If something is not working, you have to adapt. And Terry has shown that he's been able to do that this season because they did many, many different things on offense than they did to start the season. And that was to Terry's credit for sure. So if that is the selection ultimately, I really do think it could be successful. But again, you have to be able to surround him with the appropriate support and infrastructure to kind of handle the NIL. You know what I'd be doing right now? I don't know about you guys. I'd be calling up Howie Roseman of the Eagles and saying, "Hey, you know anybody that would be a good GM? You have any guys that you worked with that would be a really good GM? A lot of connections in Philly. Like, make the phone call. I'm sure he could point you in the right direction. And just kind of that sort of thing. But again, I hope this comes to an end soon. Happy to come on and talk about it. Appreciate you guys. You guys are doing a great job. And hopefully we get a quick resolution.
Yeah, I hope so, Austin. If anything goes down, you and I will stay in touch. You're welcome back on. So you know that.
Much appreciated.
All right. Are you hopping off, Austin? You gonna stay on?
I'll stay on.
All right. So Girth Brooks said, "I was fully down for Kraft firing Franklin, but he screwed us. At this point, take Terry or Manny or Terry as OC to keep him on staff. Your thoughts?"
Yeah, listen, I said I would take Manny, but we already heard Manny, his family didn't like State College, so like I don't see them coming back for that. They seem to like Duke. I mean, North Carolina a little bit warmer. I mean, he's a Miami guy, he's a Florida guy, so it's different type of climate. But yeah, Terry. I've already said my thing about Terry. I was also going to say, like, you were talking about, like, the sanctions, and we were on, like, the death penalty. Pat Kraft basically just he just inflicted his own sanctions, basically. We're basically sanctioned right now without sanctions. Like, we're basically in the depth of hell and have to, like, we need a miracle to dig our way out at this point. So the search couldn't have went any worse. I'm trying to catch up on these comments, guys. I'm on call, so I'm working too, so I've been a little distracted. But
I was fully down for Kraft for fire. I don't know, man. Like, I think they probably still have a candidate or two in mind. I don't know. Like, if you hire Terry, it's like they should have done it a while ago. I mean, but yeah. I don't know if like it. I just don't want it to look bad on Terry. Like, to me, it's like, well, Terry, we tried to get everybody and their brother and their sister and their cousin. Didn't work, but we're going to hire you now. It's like, I would hope, because Terry Smith loves Penn State and he's bigger than Pat Kraft, he would say yes. But oh man,
the big question is, do you guys want Tony Rojas to play football at Penn State next year? If you hire Terry Smith, he's going to play Penn State football next year. Amari Campbell, same thing. He had a very decent season. He's going to stay as well if Terry Smith's hired. There's a bunch of guys, man. Kobe Howard hopefully stays. He's going to be a beast next year. But at the end of the day, we don't know what some of these young players are going to do, but everybody loves Terry. He's a player's coach. He's a very nice guy, like just tremendous guy. Much better guy than Franklin. Franklin was a decent guy, but he was arrogant and too arrogant for his own good and for the Penn State fan base. Obviously, Pat Kraft didn't like him. He said, "You're outie, 5,000, have fun." And the joke was on Pat Kraft, though, because Franklin's doing just fine. So
I will say this. I will say this. I think what happened was you had two guys probably that both take things personally, and I know Franklin did.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Okay, Pat Kraft. I think he made Franklin's job harder. And you saw that they lost to Oregon. I mean, Franklin, after Oregon, I thought he looks like he knows tonight he's getting fired. Like, that was the look in his eyes. And when he says he was shocked, like, I never believed that. I think he knew that his time was ticking down. And I think Pat Kraft made it personal against Franklin when he shouldn't have. Okay? The guy won a lot of games. All right? Maybe if he was a different boss, maybe Franklin would have done a little better this season. I don't know. But I don't think Kraft helped Franklin's cause. And it's what I'm seeing now. I think he probably made it worse. And in that sense, as someone who is a fan of Penn State, and he was my coach for 12 years, I don't care who you are. Franklin was very organized. He was a machine, man. Like he had so many good qualities. Your performance is going to be worse if your boss is breathing down your neck. I don't care who you are. I mean, Franklin was a machine. Like he didn't sleep. Like I think he was totally dedicated to the job. So I think they both took it personally, and Pat Kraft made a personal decision and fired him. And it's like, bro, you have to have a plan, man. You have to know where you're going with this. You did just let go of a guy who won over 100+ games at Penn State, and he's been here for 12 years. So I'm not saying it was the wrong decision. You guys know I don't think that, but I don't think he helped his cause by the way he was treating Franklin. So like, I think it's like almost obvious at this point that was clearly an issue due to lack of coincidence PK. Yeah. Candidate pool is smaller. Kraft seems more of a Jerry Jones type now. Woo.
Yikes.
Austin, you're an X's and O's guy. You know what that is? Please research go offense, more finesse concepts.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with what specifically the go offense is, but more finesse concepts. I kind of feel like Kotelnicki ran a lot of finesse concepts, and that didn't really do us any favors. So I'm skeptical. I think it seemed like when we went back to a more traditional system of kind of strategic and intentional run game followed up by play action passes actually down the field more than 6 yards past the line of scrimmage, everything kind of seemed to work better. Now again, maybe the go offense keeps that, and I will look it up. I promise I will, because I'm always looking to learn and figure out more stuff and all that sort of thing. But sometimes you just got to keep it simple. We used to talk about this all the time, especially with the run game. I mean, we talked a lot of years where the offensive line was not very good. And how do you simplify that? Well, you go less zone blocking, you do more man blocking concepts. Because why? Because it's easier. There's the guy in front of you. Go block that guy. Go push him off the line of scrimmage. When they started going back to that, they started actually getting movement, getting to the second level. And what happened? Katron Allen started breaking chunk plays. Nick Singleton started running better as well. Especially they started getting him involved, Singleton, that is, with pitches, getting him outside, getting him in space, all the things that he's good at. And again, it's not, I'm not out here proclaiming that I'm some rocket scientist, football genius guru. That's just basic football, especially when you have a big offensive line like they had this year. And don't get me wrong, they had a very good offensive line. Did they underperform for like half the year? Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. But to your point, I think, again, when you have a situation where you have Kraft and you have Franklin, who are kind of similar in that way with the level of whatever we call hubris, arrogance, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it's no wonder they butted heads.
Yeah.
Because they're very similar. That happens all the time in a multitude of relationships. But the fact is, when you're under pressure and you're tensed and you're not playing loose, you're not coaching loose, whatever, from Franklin's perspective, that kind of trickles down. Like, everybody can feel that pressure. Now all of a sudden, now your players are playing tight. They're not just playing because they're so scared of making a mistake that might result in, I don't know, their head coach getting fired or whatever. Because again, the standard and the expectation was, this is the year, we're going all the way, we're finishing up here. And then you lose one game, boom, Oregon, you lose. And then all the wheels fell off, which didn't really make a lot of sense because everything was still in play at that point.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it really was. We could have lost to Ohio State. Let's say we just were still good and we lost to Oregon. I would have still given us I wouldn't have said we're going to go into Ohio State and get murdered. And I would have given us a shot against Indiana. The season wasn't over at all. I mean,
and again, there were a couple of wacky plays this year too. And here's something I actually didn't bring up. And I said this to a couple of people. They were kind of shocked when I said it, but it does make sense. Last year and this year were actually very similar. What do I mean by that? Last year, we played a lot of super tight, close games, and we won pretty much all of them. This year, we played a lot of really tight, close games, and we lost pretty much all of them. And where does that get us? That gets us to 50-50. That gets us to a coin flip. And that's what those are. Those super tight games, they're a coin flip most of the time. And this year was a perfect example of regression to the mean. That's what happened. It's challenging, but again, another thing to keep in mind, whether you hire Terry Smith, whether you hire a different head coach, you go hire Matt Campbell, whatever. The fact of the matter is there's going to be staff turnover anyway. We're going to have to replace some of the staff. Does anyone think we're retaining Andy Kotelnicki? Probably not. So you're going to have to go get an OC. I don't know. Some of these guys are probably going to go to Vatek. That's a strong possibility. We got to replace those. We got to fill those. How are we going to go about doing that? So from a structural perspective, that there's still going to be movement there even when we get a coach. And another thing to keep in mind on the James Franklin front, he's killing it right now. He's doing really, really good stuff with recruiting, and they just had a really good signing day and all the classic James Franklin stuff. The one thing that I don't expect Virginia Tech to go out and hire a specific GM, because Andy Frank and Kevin Throkill both follow James Franklin there, and they pretty much handle all the personnel, the personnel management and all that stuff. They were the de facto GMs. Virginia Tech is going to run into the same issues that existed here with Franklin running the ship like that.
Yep.
College football is not the same. And again, don't get mad at me. I'm just the man. I like it either. It's a different game. You need a GM. You need someone that can manage the money appropriately. And at this point, and I'll be very honest, I respect James Franklin for running it in an honorable way. That's just not how you win anymore.
Yeah, he ran it like an old school. Like he did, in a sense, he ran it old school. But he said, when he was up in the booth at their first football game at home, he said, it's an 85. It's not the world of 85 scholarships anymore. You have to pay guys, and it's like, yes, Franklin, we know that, but you don't do that with NIL. That is what you don't do. And you said, I'm a player's guy. He said, I'm the same person. So it's like, okay, good luck. I mean, it's like, did you not learn anything, man?
It's one of those things too, where I don't think James Franklin was really the guy to be like, let's go pay a bunch of money for this guy that is in the transfer portal, and he's really super good. He was a 5-star prospect 2 years ago, and he's really awesome now. But we recruited a 5-star player. Let's pay the guy that we recruited that might be good in 2 years. It's like everyone else is just going to take the guy that's good now, because now is what matters most. The transfer portal and the way all this works, the game is just different. I'm not diminishing recruiting. Mark knows I love recruiting. I follow it as closely as anybody. But it's not the only game in town anymore. And you can't exclusively do it. How's it working out for Dabo Swinney? It's not working out too good at Clemson. I don't know how much longer he's going to have there if they don't start operating more business-like from an NIL perspective with an actual GM and operating in the transfer portal. These are all the things at play here. And, I know it. You guys know it. A lot of the listeners, I'm sure, know it. If only we could get that to the administration and Pat Kraft, so to make sure that they know it, because that's how this thing needs to be built. Like I said, we will see, but it's a new era of college football, and that's how this needs to be constructed. I'm not saying we do it in a dishonorable way. We still try to be as honorable as we can. We pay things forward. We support the guys that have shown us, loyalty and all those things to the best that we can. But if you got a guy that's out there that is just a stud, you got to go get him. You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his stance was, I'm not paying NIL guys like a BJ Finney and who else, Brett? Joey O'Brien.
Joey O'Brien.
So
especially high school kids, he wasn't paying. Yeah.
These are guys that are good, that have strong interest in Penn State. I know that for a fact. But you don't pay them, and it's like, listen, if you're going to be that way, then you have to be an elite developer and an elite football coach like Joe Paterno. Franklin, that's not you, man. So it just didn't work, Mm-hmm. Now, I've said it a million times. His resume of guys going into the NFL is off the charts. But under his tenure, there was a lot of guys that I think could have developed more, and they did not. And then you have these young kids that want to come in, and they need to be paid because that's what we're in, and he doesn't do it. And it's like, I just want you to come here because it's Penn State. It's like, it doesn't work, man. It doesn't work. This sounds like damage control because you're about to sign. I don't know how this is damage control. 128 ranked class. You counted it.
I mean, it's just the facts. Like, I mean, recruiting is definitionally less important now than it was 3 years ago. That's just a fact. And again, I think overall they did a pretty good job of developing, at least from a physical traits perspective. Because again, Chuck Losey tipped the cap. I think he's fantastic. But I don't think I've ever seen a situation where any team has gone on a generational run of not being able to get a wide receiver worth seemingly anything. I can't believe that even happened. Now, again, Kobe Howard, I think that guy has some upside.
Yeah.
Again, true freshman, but he made some plays, which is more than I can say for a lot of the other guys, save for Devontae Ross. But like, other than that, who have they had? And that's kind of why I was stunned when basically word came out. It's like, oh yeah, Heartline, he interviewed, and Pat Kraft, clearly just didn't want him. I'm like, that's the biggest weakness you've had by far for the last 6 years. Like who's the last guy that was really anything? Dotson in 2021.
Dotson in Washington, yeah.
Like what? Oh yeah, Parker Washington. Yeah. That would be the last real, quality receiver, I would say.
2022. Yep.
It's just, that's nuts. It's a generational. And here's the thing. Again, it also points to evaluation, because it's not like they weren't getting like guys that were 4-stars. They were getting a bunch of 4-star guys. They just weren't panning out. So what was the issue? I know behind the scenes, the Josiah Browns, some of the other guys, the Peter Gonzalez's, they dealt with injuries. They banged up knees, and I get it, but like, what's the deal? Because overall, the staff was largely good. Maybe not the wide receivers coach. Okay, possibly, but like, that should have been addressed, and it wasn't. That's also a strike against Franklin. I see a question here. Does Losey stay? I tell you right now, Franklin's going to offer him. Franklin's going to want him to come with. I can tell you that right now. And the strength and conditioning coach and is the captain of the entire performance enhancement arm of the athletic department. That is so crucial. They spend so much more time with the players than the actual coaches because of the rules. Entire off seasons. And they've developed so much talent, and they always do well at the combine. They always test extremely well. They're always improving their composition, their bodily composition, from a body fat percentage, from a strength perspective, all these things. Losey is really good. They have to try to retain him, and you better believe Franklin's going to come and try and get him.
He's the best in the country, dude. Like he's got
outstanding.
He has to be.
He's insane.
He has to be. Yeah.
Yep. He had Dwight Galt under or above him before, so that's why Dwight Galt was insane. So.
Yep, extremely good. But yeah, I mean, does he stay? I don't know. It's a really good question. I haven't heard anybody talk about it, but it's definitely a good question. So you're Sarge, you are doing some thinking, and I appreciate that.
I think at the end of the day, if Terry Smith stays, he's going to hold a lot of this together more than I think people think. He's going to hold a lot of this roster together. I think these guys are going to play in the bowl game. Don't we usually hear of sit-outs by now for bowl games? We usually hear about that, don't we?
It's pretty early. I mean, we're not going to play for a couple weeks still, so.
But we got, I think he's going to be able to hold this roster together. A lot of the staff, not all of it. Some of these guys are going to leave for whatever, whether it be Franklin or anywhere else. But yeah, thanks, Sarge. But we got Jackson Ford. We got Foul Zone today. You guys are going to go down in my opinion, you're going to go down in Penn State history like a Michael Motti. You guys signed today. I mean, 2 guys. When was the last time we had a 2-guy class? Like, has that ever happened?
We had more commits during the sanctions. Yeah. I don't know how many they had, but more. So probably like 10 or something.
Well, and here's the crazy thing. We were only allowed to recruit 15 people.
Yeah, that's it.
Because of the roster limitation, which dropped from 85 scholarships to 65 scholarships.
And we've said this too, Austin, in the past. And I interviewed Stephon Morris for a paper in college. He was one of the guys that stayed, and we went 8-4 that year after Joe was fired. Yes. So if Kari Fort stays, if Justin Brown stays, if Silas Red stays, and we're not playing with a bunch of third strings, I think we literally we would have gone 11-1 or 10-2. I mean, 8-4 with third string guys, that's insane.
Yeah, easily 10 wins for sure.
Was fantastic.
I mean, I told Stephon Morris, I'm like, bro, if you guys would have kept that secondary together, you guys would have kept that team together, you guys would have, and he was like 100%. We would have. He said they would have gone undefeated. 8-4 guys with third and fourth string guys. They don't lose some key pieces. And Silas Red, he went to USC under Kiffin, didn't do a thing.
I'll tell you what we wouldn't have done. We wouldn't have opened the season, and we definitely wouldn't have lost to Ohio. No shot if all those guys stay. Sorry to bring that up.
Well, Kari Fort, he was good Lord, man, was he big. But Justin Brown, he went on to play for the Steelers. So did Derek Moy. Kari Fort, I don't know if he went to the NFL, but Silas Red, I think he was with the Redskins for a while. But it's I don't know, man. But
I mean, you know who we really missed though out of that year? Not to get off track, Anthony Farah, because if you recall, we could not kick or punt for a little bit there until Ficken kind of got out of that issue, but. But then he was actually very good. But five misses against Virginia haunts me to my core.
Yeah, he was one of the first guys that left. He went to Texas because that's where he was from, and But hate to judge up bad memories. I mean, man, dude, it's just let's get a guy, please God, let's get a guy tomorrow. All right, and I'll be on tomorrow night.
Has Tony Rojas posted today?
Brett,
anybody checking on Tony Rojas because he was posting heavy there for?
We haven't heard anything bad from him today, so I mean he's going through.
Last night he said, "I'm hoping for the best tomorrow," and we heard nothing. I feel bad for him, dude, because he was having such a promising first couple games, then he got hurt right away. I was like, "You got to be kidding me."
The crazy thing is Tony Rojas is the embodiment of every diehard Penn State fan right now with his tweets. Yep. They are epically awesome. I mean, honestly, and it's so crazy to think about it. If Tony Rojas doesn't get hurt, I don't want to. I don't want to overstate the value of one player.
Yeah.
But we literally did not have a player that could spy Nico at UCLA.
Yep.
I would bet my house if Rojas was healthy, there is no way we lose that game.
Nope. Or Northwestern, none of that. Yeah.
There's no way. And again,
Franklin's still here.
That's that changes a lot of things. But
yeah.
But the point being is like that dude was playing really good football. And what happened afterwards? What happened to the run defense? It wasn't elite with him in there, but like the averages for the opposing teams went up by like 2 full yards per rush. Like it got really bad.
The Dom DeLuca special, dude. Oh my god.
You know, God love him, but
if you look back at it, it sucks that Tony Rojas is the reason that James Franklin got fired. It's not his fault he got hurt, but that's why James Franklin got fired. If you put all the pieces together, that's essentially what happened. So yeah, it's crazy to think about.
I mean, to be like, and this is a crazy part. Who would have imagined this maybe before the season? You're gonna say, okay, there's gonna be 2 injuries to the team, to the starters. One's gonna be Tony Rojas, the other one's gonna be Drew Aller.
Crazy.
What hurts the team more?
You would think Drew Aller, but no.
You would think. And it, like, honestly, to be like, you know, to be fully transparent, I thought Grunk actually in totality played pretty good, to be completely honest. Yeah. They were very limited against Iowa, and man, I'm not gonna lie, I think that was the worst game for me to watch as a fan, because with all the turmoil and the turnover and Terry being promoted, I wanted them to win so bad. Not for me, not for the season, just for the guys, for Terry. I wanted them so bad to get a win. But again, close, no cigar, but obviously things did improve down the stretch. But yeah, things are interesting.
Thanks, JR. Yeah, things are absolutely interesting. That is for sure. So much so that Austin hit me up. He's like, dude, I gotta come on. This is total BS. Like, what is going on? But again, please like, share, subscribe, guys. We'll have memberships probably back up tomorrow. If you need supplements, you know, top left there, Team Raw Nutrition. Austin knows about Raw. Chris Bumstead, he is today's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Phenomenal physique. He's retired, but Chris is a good dude, and he started a good line. So you guys have anything else?
I don't think so, man. Not until they hire a coach, and then we can talk about it. I mean, at this point, and I told you, and Mark already knows, I got to work all day tomorrow. So if they do announce it, I'm kind of screwed on jumping on anyway. So
hey, Brett, what do you mean Dayball has traction? Is that Kalashi or something? Or
I mean, well, yeah, Kalashi's got traction, but I mean, he's been talked about through the media a little bit, right? So like,
yeah, people are talking about him a lot.
There's something there to it, right? I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be the next head coach, but him and Terry Smith, and I haven't really heard anything else. So I mean, I don't know. If they come out and hire Willie Fritz tomorrow, I'm jumping off a bridge. So I know that much. If they do it, then I'm done. I told you I moved down the Slippery Rock, and that'll be my new team. So because it's been a slippery stuff. Yeah.
I heard. I watch every now and again. I throw on the Nittany Dispatch with Audrey Snyder and John Sauber too. Because I always like, and Audrey lives in my development. But I always like to see what those guys are talking about. I saw someone put up for a potential hire as Jeff Halfley or the DC for the Packers. John hates Halfley. I'm like, that would just make perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, at this point, the crazy part is you guys watching at home or whatever you're watching, your guess is pretty much as good as ours at this point. I mean, any kind of semblance of an understanding that I thought I had on what would be a good fit, what would be a good hire, what are the attributes and traits we should be looking for, none of that really seemed to come to
matter.
fruition. The one thing I did say, and I said it to my uncle and I said it to my parents right when it happened. A couple of days after Franklin got fired, I had a nightmare. I sprung awake at night. I was in a cold sweat because I had a nightmare. We got to the end of the line and there were no coaches left. Now, I didn't think it was a premonition. I just thought it was a normal nightmare, and now I'm forced to live it, and I don't appreciate it. We got to get this fixed, or it's going to really start impacting me negatively.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I never thought that I thought, you know what, if it takes some time to get the right guy, fine. But I mean, my God, at this point, are you serious right now? I just saw the math. Coaches across the country have been paid $270 million more total because of Pat Kraft. So
that's old data. It's over 300 million now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Nick Saban just got another, he got a raise at ESPN because of Pat Kraft. So at this point, holy shit.
Oh,
did you read what I sent you? How much money? How much money it came out to?
270? Is it 270 or
no? It's $370 million.
Oh,
$370 million that other coaches got extensions from. Yep, 370. Yep.
So everyone but Terry Smith has gotten more money, pretty much. Well, Franklin didn't get more money, but
yes,
because he's 8.2 now, and one final positive note before we get off here, we paid $9 million in the buyout, so that's good. That definitely helped us a lot. Can you imagine owing Franklin $54 million right now, and we have to go out and hire a new guy, dude? LSU is paying like $170 million to 3 different people right now, and only one is a coach. So it's insane.
Yeah, the LSU the LSU debacle tells you everything you need to know about the Brian Kelly experience. That's why I say absolutely not. None of that anywhere near my school.
Yeah, we're looking at Mel Tucker 100%. Yep. 90 lines. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, if we want another whole debacle with sanctions, sure, we could bring him in. He could harass anybody he wants to, but he's going to go to jail. So,
dude, he's just got to do that to the wrong woman. He's going to have a broken nose, that's for sure. But all right, guys. Again, Austin, thanks for coming on again, man. Brett.
Yep. Thanks, Austin.
Thanks for coming on. All right, you guys have a good night. And just pray and try to not have nightmares.